What's going on, guys? Welcome to my channel. It's been a while, and today I want to talk about Superman Unlimited #1, which I got just yesterday, and I want to go over it. I want to talk about it, dissect it a little bit, um, look into the story. This is part of Summer of Superman, which is basically, type of it's an initiative to, push, since there's a Superman, a big Superman uh, motion picture coming out this summer. DC, of course, they're doing the right thing. They're pushing the Superman character. They're promoting the Superman character. A lot of new books are coming out, specials, one shots, annuals and stuff, and but this one seems to be very um, directly correlating with the movie. And it's not that this is the movie version of Superman, but there's a lot of things that are in it that will be in Superman. One of those is that Crypto, Superdog character. Um, Crypto is used in comics, but not too often in the Superman comics. There's special stories where he shows up, but he's not a main character. He's not a character that's always there, in the Superman main titles. That said, I mean, it doesn't bother me. It just bothers me a little bit that they change the look of the dog, more in line with the movie version that is going to be seen, from what I've seen on the trailers and stuff. And in reality, in main continuity, uh, you know, Crypto is not this breed. He's a different breed. I'm not sure what breed he is, but this is not the dog that he is. But such is, the continuity, such are things in comic books where they change things and they don't really explain them, and we just gotta deal with it. Anyways, this is Superman Unlimited, Dawn of the Emerald Era, and the creative team here is Dan Slott, Rafael Albuquerque, and Marcelo Maiolo. Um, Overall, the art on this book is pretty terrific. The coloring jumps off the page. Excuse me. And Rafael Albuquerque, I know his work from things he did. I in Vertigo. I remember he was the one that did American Vampire. He really hasn't done a lot of mainstream superhero stuff, and this one he went all out, man. He went all out with Superman, and it's a very ambitious project. And he doesn't pull punches, man. He does a lot of scenes here. There's a lot of stuff that he goes um, after, that he accomplishes, because Dan Slott has a very full story here, especially in the first issue. Covers a lot. It covers a lot, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it here. And like I said, the art is great. This cover is beautiful, alluding to a lot of the stuff, a lot of things we're gonna see in this title, Superman Unlimited. I also like this, that they brought back the little icon for the characters, and I love Dan Moore's version, and that's the version that is shown here. I appreciate that. It looks pretty cool. I like it. Um, then there's a lot of good moments in this story, but there's also a lot of bad moments, and the story has a lot of holes in it. If I'm honest, I'm gonna be honest here. I know Dan Slott. He's coming over from Marvel. He's a very well-known Spider-Man writer. He wrote Spider-Man for many years. I remember the work he did in Superior Spider-Man. I have that entire run. I enjoyed it a lot. It wasn't perfect, but it was very entertaining. And so he's bringing his talents here to the Superman character, and he's making a lot of interesting, let's say, a lot of weird choices. But they're entertaining. So it's the first issue. I'm gonna be very lenient, but there's a lot of moments as well that are weird, even for Dan Slott. And for example, let me give you an example. The book opens with Louis Lane making an announcement that there's this new woman, and this new woman is rich. She's gonna be um, co-owning the Daily Planet, and they're gonna push for more technology. And she's um, Morgan Edge, ex-wife. Morgan Edge is a classic old Superman character. He's a guy. He's never been only a good guy, kind of an antagonist, corporate type villain. So, but in comics, we're dealing a lot with these feministic angles, and I suspect that these writers, like for example Dan Slott, is being forced to insert this shit here, and why would such an important Superman book? Because I'm here for Superman. Kids open this book and they buy it. It'll be, or kids and young guys and whatever, they will buy this book and they want to see Superman kicking ass. They want to see a supervillain. They want to see we're here for Superman, So why would it matter? I guess it'll matter later on. I'm not sure. I doubt it because I've seen this before. This is an agenda. This is a feministic agenda that really annoys the fuck out of me, and it's here blatant. And the opening page of this women making some kind of power play, because that's what it is. It's two strong female boss type characters, because Lois Lane has become unbearable nowadays. I don't know. Every writer has been tasked with writing Lois Lane as this annoying fucking boss woman that has to be proclaimed as mighty woman, proclaimed as being such a badass and so perfect and so strong and so even better than Superman himself. I mean, in Dan Slott is he's ignoring what's going on. He's not going with what's going on in the main continuity right now, where Lois Lane has superpowers and she's running around in a Superman type suit as a superhero, barking orders and doing a lot of stupid shit. And I'm glad that Dan Slott is not going with that here, that he's leaving that shit out of here. And for the most part, what's going on in main continuity is he's only using certain things, but he's ignoring a lot of things that are going on specifically in the Superman books. And so yeah, this is the Daily Planet. And let me read a little bit. Let me introduce you to the woman making this minor miracle possible, our new patron saint, Imani H. The recently, and then Imani is outspoken, annoying fucking woman as well. The recently divorced wife of former media mogul Morgan H. Guess which companies I got controlling interest of in the settlement? Who cares? Who cares? This is, I'm here for Superman. I don't give a fuck about boss women. I could care less about this new character. I don't know where Dan Slott is going with that. Hopefully she dies, killed by Lex Luthor or Darkseid or something. It really doesn't interest me. And then she has this attitude problem where, Clark Kent hears of trouble and he leaves, Sorry, John, didn't see you there, gotta go. So, as always, Clark Kent has to walk out because he's Superman in real life. He has a secret identity. He needs to go save the day. And take a look at this woman. Look at her face. Unbelievable. One of the most important moments of your life and your husband runs off right in the middle of it. I mean, think about that little scene, that little comment that she's making. She's she's criticizing Louis Lane's husband, who is obviously a good man. They have kids together. They're married, and you're talking about the woman's husband, and you're criticizing him. And you should know better. There should be if this played out in real life, uh, you know, the wife would be insulted. Would be like, "Who the fuck are you to talk about my husband? You don't know him. You just came here. We just introduced you here. What are you talking about?" And she kind of does that, but in a more diplomatic way. Louis Lane. When I became editor in chief of the Daily Planet, Clark Kent became our number one reporter on the Superman beat. That means if Superman's busy, so is Clark. So if you want to know what he's doing right now, he's doing his job. Very clever, but still, it was a very annoying scene. Like I said, to this very important book, this new title opens up with two fucking women making some power play, and it's just annoying. Why am I reading this? What does that have to do with Superman? What it it's just an agenda. It's I don't know what's going on. I guess these writers are told, make sure that Louis Lane is not a traditional woman, that she's the boss, and make sure that in every couple of scenes, Superman or Clark Kent is proclaiming that Louis Lane is great at everything. And I'll show you the examples. Anyways, let's move on. So Superman is out there now. He's flying, and things are going on in Metropolis, and he proceeds to stop a robbery. There's a weird little scene here where one of the robbers he captures tells Superman, "Thank you for rescuing my grandmother. You saved her life at one time and another." And then Superman says, "Anytime." And it's kind of like a humorous little moment, weird choice, but that's Dan Slott. The art is terrific. I think Rafael Albuquerque did great. The only complaint I have is that his faces, the faces he draws, most of the characters look very fucking unattractive. Superman looks like shit. Lois looks like shit. But, that's just a minor complaint I have. His faces are not that good. I mean, they're good, proportionally great and stuff, but his characters look ugly as fuck. And that includes the main characters. Jimmy Olsen, Louis Lane, Superman, Justice League members. They all look like shit. I like this little panel here where, this kid fell into a lion's den or something here in a zoo, and Superman rescues him. I like that little scene over here. I like it. Very creative. So we proceed to have Superman save the day, a plane in trouble, a boat, a fire, and it's a pretty nice montage. And he stops to tell this girl that she does great music, and that he likes listening to her. Little good moments that I really enjoy, and it shows Dan Slott's creativity and imagination, and he does good job for the most part. Now this is where I have a little bit of trouble believing some stuff. The Justice League calls Superman, and he tells them that let me read it. He says, "We're detecting an extinction level event, an asteroid of phenomenal size heading straight towards Earth." And the Justice League here proceeds to say that most of the Justice League's heavy hitters are in space. Well, isn't Superman a heavy hitter? Why isn't he in space? What's going on in space? So it's kind of a throwaway line for Dan Slott here, just to set up the just to set up the scene where an asteroid is coming to Earth. But first of all, this is an established DC universe. The Justice League should have measures for things like this, not just call in emergency wise or huge asteroid and all that stuff. Obviously, they do have detectors and stuff, but what's going on in space? Why send all your heavy hitters to space? And why isn't your heavy hitter Superman, your main fucking heavy hitter, by the way, in space with the rest of the Justice League? We'll never know, because I doubt that Dan Slott is gonna answer uh, those those questions here. Anyways, the scene is right. It's set up right, and Superman heads into space, and for some reason, instead of just stopping this asteroid, trying to push it back, he decides to smash into it, which is a great cinematic scene. But at the same time, it wasn't too smart, because it turns out that, you know, the asteroid is made of kryptonite inside, and right away Superman feels the effects. And despite this is something I actually like, despite feeling the kryptonite's um, devastating effects on him, he fights through it, because he sees that if he's the only one between this asteroid and planet Earth, and he decides to, you know, tough it out and stop this asteroid. It's not explained why, but as he's doing this, he starts getting flashback of his life. He says, "My life starts flashing before my eyes and stuff, kind of stuff." And I guess it's just Dan Slott's way of establishing what continuity he's dealing with here. He wants to deal with the characters, and he goes through Superman's, you know, kid years, when he was a kid, when he was a young man, and how he started using his powers, and that whole stuff, you know, crypto. And because this is, like I said, it's a summer book that came out specifically more, you know, its purpose is, yes, to entertain us Superman fans, but also to promote the Superman character, who is having a major motion picture coming out of him. So yeah, you know, Dan Slott covers a lot of terrain, you know, a lot of stuff that we're gonna be seeing in the movie, where he becomes a reporter and he meets Lois Lane. And check this out. When she this is what I'm talking about. I'll give you credit, Kent, for figuring out the blue blurs was your hometown hero Superboy, and that he's set up shop here as Superman. It's the one and only time your middle of nowhere contacts will help you, Smallville. Now, what was Dan Slott's thinking there when he wrote that? It's weird. It's like, why? Women do not act that way when they meet people or a new coworker. They don't insult or lowball, insult people that way, you know. And then Superman goes, Miss Lane, you're the reason I took my story to the planet instead of any other paper, to work with the best and to learn from them. Bullshit. At that time, Lois Lane was not the best, and she's never been the best. And she's a good fucking reporter, very capable. Yes, that's always been established. Lois Lane is a very legendary, iconic Superman character. I get that. I like the character. But the way she's being written nowadays is just atrocious. It doesn't go with me. It just takes me out of the story when this happens. And there's several scenes where Clark Kent or Superman have to proclaim how great Lois Lane is. And here he is. He's saying that he came to the Daily Planet because of Lois Lane. No, Lois Lane was not a superstar type reporter. is why, and why would that motivate you? Why go after it? So he goes, is that so? All right then, stick with me, farm boy, and try to keep up. Farm boy, really? And she changes attitude. Oh, you're kissing my ass? Oh, you're saying I'm the best? Okay, stick with me, farm boy. So he complimented her. He gave her like a huge fucking ego boost, and she's still being a fucking asshole and lowball, jabbing at his origins and shit. It's just Dan Slott. If you see this video, that's just weird shit that you're doing, man. Let me move along, and then the thing is still going on. The asteroid's coming apart. The kryptonite is poisoning Superman, affecting him big time, and he's still getting those flashbacks. Thinking about his bad guys and the events in his life and the characters, his friends, and when he proposed to Lois, and she said yes, and when he died. So there's a lot of things. Dan Slott establishing what things he's going with, and what things in continuity he will be working with. That's basically what he's doing here. And yeah, they get married. They have the kid, John Kent, character I hate nowadays. And so the asteroid finally explodes and Superman saves the day. He goes into a coma. He wakes up after a while, and he's fine. Crypto's there, everybody's there, and he's shocked, and let's do this again. Look, everybody's happy. Look at Lois. Ma, John, Lois. Tell me you haven't been here the whole time, honey. What about your big rollout for the Daily Planet? See, because we gotta have Superman kissing Lois Lane's ass at every fucking turn, every fucking panel. I did it from here, remotely. What? You think I couldn't put it off? There we go. I mean, what the fuck? The guy just woke up from a coma and you're lecturing him? Your ego is somehow hurt because he asked about that, about your well-being. He's caring about you. You're Lois Lane. You can do anything. There you go. Dan Slott, I don't know why you did that. It's just weird shit that takes me out of the story. And then we established that while he was in a coma, Clark Kent was still going around. It was really the Martian Manhunter impersonating him. Something that's been done by other writers before. I'm fine with it. And so they established, Batman tells, Batman's an asshole, by the way. Everybody's happy to see him. Everybody says, welcome back. And he's like, oh, he's all business and shit. Hey, Dan Slott, there's other ways to write Batman. He doesn't have to be a stoic asshole. Okay? And that goes to every writer, to be honest. That shtick has gotten very old. So, a little balance in his personality will be good. So Batman tells Superman that there's some kind of kryptonite city where parts of this asteroid landed, and there's this metal that is sparked kryptonite. So kryptonite is all over the planet Earth now. Everybody has, according to what the characters say, Supergirl and Superboy, a lot of bad guys, everybody can buy kryptonite at the 7-Eleven sort of thing. And so my question is, and Superman says, don't worry, we'll deal with it. But my question is here, why does the fucking Justice League has not done anything about this? The other superheroes that are very powerful running around, why haven't they prevented this and taking all this kryptonite out of the fucking planet? I guess maybe Dan Slott will answer those questions later on, but it just seems ridiculous to me. This status quo that he's established. And then, the big the big cliffhanger at the end, establishing that somehow Superman is not vulnerable to kryptonite. How they would know this? It doesn't make sense because he just woke up from a coma. So how do they know that he has this ability that apparently Batman has figured out? 3 months ago, a mountain of kryptonite fell on you. It buried you. You should have been poisoned, crushed, and atomized. This is how you survive. Not sure how, but we'll figure it out. So that's my breakdown of this book. And if I give it a grade, I will give it a B plus. Art wise, visually wise, is amazing, and I actually like, that little story, the scope of the story that Dan Slott is establishing here. I appreciate he ignored Superwoman Lois Lane, but at the same time, she's still fucking Superwoman because at every panel, Superman has to keep saying what an amazing thunder god she is. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts. Give me likes, dislikes, subscribe to my channel, please. I need some viewers, and let me know what you think of this new title, Superman Unlimited #1. Thank you. Peace.